Welcome to Her Cancer, Our Story, a raw and honest podcast about facing stage 4 metastatic breast cancer as a couple.
Hi, everybody. This is Kayla, and we're on vacation this week, but we still have a special interview to share with you. So today's episode is one that really sits with you. We're talking with Candace, who was in the middle of her second pregnancy and early postpartum life when she noticed something didn't feel quite right in her body. What followed was a series of appointments, scans, and eventually a diagnosis of stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. This is a story about motherhood, intuition, grief, and advocacy, but also about how easily women, especially postpartum women, are told to wait, watch, or reassure themselves when their body is actually signaling something much more serious. Candace's story is deeply personal, but it is also one that so many women will recognize in pieces of their own experiences, especially that quiet moment of something doesn't feel right. We were so excited that Candace volunteered to come on the show and share her story. Thanks for listening. All right. Hi, Candace. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hi.
All right. So we're going to kind of just dive in. Can you start by telling us a little bit about you and your family and what your life looked like right before everything changed?
Sure. So my name is Candace. I am 33 years old. I am from New Jersey. I was 8 months pregnant. So I was pregnant before my diagnosis. And I have another son who's 3.5 and a husband. And life was just lifing. I mean, we were busy with my son. I was busy with pregnancy appointments and figuring out when I was going to have my C-section. And then that's when everything kind of totally changed. Like that last month to 2 months of pregnancy. And then after.
Yeah. And we'll definitely dive into that a bit more. But at that point in time, were you a stay-at-home mom? Because you are currently, correct?
Yes. So I was a teacher up until I had my first son, Ryan. So I've been home for about 3.5 years. And I just decided to, just because I wanted to. And I was very grateful that I do have that opportunity to be with my boys. So that's pretty much... I was a teacher for about 8 years, 9 years in 4th grade, and then I was a stay-at-home mom starting in 2022.
Yeah, 4th grade, that's a big transitional time, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. 9 turning 10, I feel like it's like 9 turning 16 now.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so when you think about that time of your life now, what do you wish that you could go back and tell that version of you?
That's a really good question. I would probably say that I've always liked to be involved in things and meeting people and having like my voice heard. So I guess what I would tell her is like your voice is going to be heard in a meaningful way, and you'll make connections and new friends that you would never think that you would be friends with or meet. And you would use your voice to make those connections and to help others, because I was always helping others. My husband said in the beginning when we first were dating that I'm very selfless, and that is still true. And I always put others before me. And even though I had to take a step back to then focus on myself, I'm still always helping others.
Oh, yeah.
And sharing
Even from
stories,
a personal standpoint with that, you're always like checking in on me. You remember when I have appointments, like even this afternoon, you texted me because you knew. So
always.
I would absolutely agree with that.
Always.
All right. And then before we kind of dive into the other pieces, what's a small win or like moment of light that you've had recently? It could be cancer related or it could be something completely separate.
I just went on vacation with my boys to Florida, and we had like such a great time in the beach and the pool. So that was just a really nice segue from school to now summertime. It was just really nice to get away.
Do you go like on the Gulf Coast or do you go on the ocean side?
We went on the ocean side.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to Fort Lauderdale, so it was really nice. And both kids loved the pool and the beach, and it was just a really nice time.
Oh, good. That's great. Yeah, nice way to enter into summer for sure. Was it hot down there?
Very hot. It was like 100% humidity. It was very hot.
Ugh.
Yeah.
We're kind of
Yes.
getting a touch of that this
Yeah, I
week here.
know.
Yeah, you probably are too.
Oh yeah, like 105 I think by Friday or Saturday, so it's gonna be hot.
Yeah, followed you back up here.
Yes.
All right, so now we're going to kind of go into when you first discovered that lump when you were 8 months pregnant, correct?
Yes.
Okay, with your second son. So can you take us back to that moment and just any of the details that you want to share about that time?
Sure. So I was laying in bed. My husband and I were watching a show, and I was just like, "Oh, I feel something." So I got up to go to the bathroom to see if I could still like feel it when I was standing up, and I was like, "Oh, it's still kind of there." So then I had my weekly regular prenatal OB appointment the following week. So I texted like my group of friends from college and I said, "Hey, did anyone ever feel a lump while you were pregnant?" Because we pretty much all have like multiple kids. So I was like, "Oh, when you were the second time around," and some were like, "No," and some said it could be your milk coming in, like, is anything coming out? And I was like, "No, but I'm not trying." I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not even doing that." So I went to my OB appointment that following week and I brought it up to her and she did a breast exam on both breasts and said that, "Oh, it's your milk coming in. It's your second pregnancy. It could come in sooner." And I gave birth 20 days later. So in my mind, I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. And in my gut, did I feel like it was something? Yes, because when I went back to the text messages, telling my friends, "Hey, did you feel a lump?" or "I felt something," I was just like, knowing me, something is wrong.
Yeah.
And we pulled up those text messages when I was like, just like thinking about this last year even. And it was almost like I kind of knew it was something. And even though the OB told me that it was just my milk, like deep down, I'm like, yeah, but no one's walking around with like a lemon-sized lump in their breast, even if you were pregnant or not. So whatever. So I gave birth to my son on March 25th. And this time around, my milk came in like triple the amount than with my first. So then I was kind of like, okay, maybe she was right. Because it was like, I did not breastfeed, but I would totally feel like I've been an oversupplier because it was insane. And then about 2 months later, when everything kind of calmed down in a way, postpartum, not that it takes longer than 2 months, it was still there. And that's when my mom said, "You should just call your OB again, tell them that you still feel it. They'll see you if you tell them you have a lump." And I think it was like last June, around June 18th, they saw me right away. And then I went for my first mammogram and ultrasound around this time last year. So my year-anniversary is coming up.
Yeah, it's, in July, right?
Yeah, July 16th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's so hard. And we're going to get into more of the, postpartum type feelings and things like that. But when in the article that you were featured in,
yes.
Or I think did you write that one?
I did.
Okay. So when you talked about that, you had talked about how you had a pretty routine annual doctor visit the year before. So when you think about that now, like, how does that make you feel?
Annoyed, because I always go to my OB yearly. They do the breast exam, a pap smear, and like I was always the one to like always go to the doctor. Like if I had a little sore throat, I was like, I need to go to urgent care. So I was like not neglecting myself. And that's where I feel like what happened, because it was May of 2024 is when I had my annual, and then I got pregnant in July of 2024. So I feel like defeated in a way.
Yeah, no, I know I often have those feelings of like, how did things happen so fast? Like, what they tell you that it doesn't happen that fast, but
Right.
something happened fast.
Right.
Because I'm not sure how it went from 0 to 100 that
Oh,
quickly.
I know. It's like, what did it was just like having a party in our body? I don't know. It must have
Mm-hmm.
been. And
Yeah.
I'm like 100% estrogen positive, so I guess the
Yeah.
pregnancy like made it worse in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And then
That's
I
so
think if
hard.
I wasn't pregnant, would I not have it yet? I don't know. All these things come into my mind.
Yeah. The what ifs and the, we've all
Yes.
been there.
Oh, yes.
Candace, going back to that after that initial appointment where they said it was probably just your milk coming in, and you said that in the back of your head you kind of always had this thought that it wasn't just that, but during those couple months, was that something you were thinking about a lot, or was it like the reassurance enough to kind of get you through the day-to-day type stuff, especially having a newborn?
Like before I knew it was cancer.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about it that much because I feel like the newborn phase was just like
Oh
crazy
yeah.
enough, and I wasn't even like really thinking until like I would say after Memorial Day last year. Yeah, last year. And that's when I was like, "Oh, it's still kind of there." And yeah, so it was not consuming me at all.
Understandable.
Especially
Yeah.
because when my milk did come in, it was like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's why I was like, "Oh, she was right."
Yeah.
Well,
You
no,
could
she
chalk it up to
wasn't,
that.
but yeah.
Yeah. So, many people hear that it's just pregnancy or breastfeeding changes. So, knowing how common that is, like, how do you sit with that now? And what would you maybe want other pregnant or postpartum women to know about, like, kind of trusting that gut instinct when something feels off?
Yeah, so I cannot believe how common it is actually. Like I was shocked
Yeah.
with like I thought not that I was the only one, but that it was rare and it really isn't because half the people that I talk to, half of the women, it's like, "Oh, no, I was breastfeeding and stuff." So I would just say even if they think it's your milk or something postpartum related, say that you need a mammogram or an
Mm-hmm.
ultrasound. And even if it is your milk, fine, that's great. But just, I would definitely advocate for some type of scan, regardless if you are breastfeeding or not. Just advocate for yourself.
Yeah, I think that's great. And we'll definitely get into that advocacy piece a little bit later on. But I'd like to kind of go back to that initial diagnosis. So, in the beginning, there was some uncertainty around staging, correct?
Yes,
Do you want to talk about that?
sure. So I had my biopsy July 14th, and then I got it back, yeah, the 16th, and it was like grade 3, estrogen positive, HER2 negative. Um, and everyone said, "Oh, well, that's the most common type." I was like,
Yep.
"Okay." I'm like, "Okay, that's great." So, I had called the breast surgeon that same day on July 16th. Uh, that actually my mother-in-law has been to, and she's like, "She's great. I don't know if she's taking new patients, but call her." So I called her, and she saw me that same day on July 16th.
Okay.
And when she did an exam, she thought I might be like stage 2 just from everything that I was telling her and that the report said.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following week, I had an appointment with my oncologist for the first time. And the breast surgeon told me, she was great. She was like, "I'm going to set you up with a breast MRI, a bone scan, and a CAT scan so that you have more information when you meet the oncologist." So I'm like, "Okay. I think I feel fine. So what?
Yeah.
That's okay." Like, okay. So I do all of that in between. So the first week of knowing that I have cancer, and I get the CAT scan results the same day. It was a Monday. And my husband was home. He has like a longer lunch break, so he came home to see how I was and if I knew anything. And I get it in my chart, and we're going through, and it's saying, all of the different body parts like spleen and bladder and all of that, and everything's like fine. and we get to liver, and there's a paragraph. I'm like, well, what is this? And it said like innumerable liver lesions consistent with metastatic disease, but would need follow-up testing. So he had to go back to work. He was a mess because I was thinking, oh, I feel fine. I was just pregnant with all these other tests. Why, something must have had to come up from all of that, but it didn't. And so then he came right home because he was a mess. I felt terrible. I'm like, how can you even drive like right now knowing that it could be in my liver? So he came back home, but so then I saw my oncologist and like 2 days later, and we agreed to have a liver biopsy just to make sure that it was cancerous. And it was, but when I went for that biopsy, the radiologist was the same radiologist that did my biopsy on my breast. And when he saw me, he was like, what is going on? Like he was great. And the team there that I go to is great. And I had to have, I think it was a MRI or lead biopsy because there were too many lesions and they couldn't like get a good picture with the ultrasound.
Okay.
So I did that. And within 24 hours, it came back that it was the same exact thing. And my liver was pretty much covered. And then I started treatment the same day that I found out my liver biopsy was the same as my breast.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like they moved pretty quickly.
It was very quick, even though it felt like forever. But yeah, it was quick.
Yeah.
It was quick.
So when obviously you kind of had an idea that it could be that metastatic breast cancer based on the report that you read, which unfortunately, for you that you had to read it instead of being told, like, how did that feel in that moment? Are you glad that you had the chance to read it first, or do you wish that you would have been told that by somebody?
I don't know. I feel like I was like a little bit too confident to just be like, let me just scroll through this.
Yeah.
So sometimes I've learned not to look and just wait.
Yeah, we've talked
about that. But then I feel like, I don't know. I think I was okay reading it, but I was hopeful that it wasn't anything. Yeah. Just because then also in that scan, or in my bone scan, one of the scans, it said that I had something in my spine, but it wound up being like a hemangioma. So a lot of my family was like, maybe it's just those that you have, since you have one in your back. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I'm glad I looked, but again, I think I was like naive in a way that it's not going to be anywhere else. I don't know. Now I feel like I don't want to look at anything anymore. Although I do.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard thing, right?
Yes.
Because I know there's been times recently where you've waited an extended period of time before you got the official word.
Yes.
But then other times you've looked, and you can go into as much detail of, with that as you want to. But I know it's a hard balance.
Yeah. And I always open these things up when I'm watching TV and my kids are there. And I'm like, why don't I just do that to myself? So it's hard.
Yeah,
as you know.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so you, in the article, again, kind of going back to that, you had described going from being pregnant to postpartum, and that change in and of itself, going through that twice, that's a huge shift in your body and your emotional, mental stability, everything. It affects everything in so many ways that I feel like people who don't go through it don't understand. But then you also had to go through menopause in a very short period of time. So how do you even begin to process big changes like that? What do you remember feeling like?
That hormones really rule your world in every aspect, whether it's too much or you have nothing. Like right now I have 0 estrogen and it really stinks. The highs and the lows are just very hard. like my oncologist and I joke. She's like, yeah, you're the one that went from postpartum to menopause in like a month, because when they asked me, well, when was your last period? Last summer. I think I had like 1 or 2 before all this happened. So it's like such a roller coaster. I feel like you think postpartum alone is hard, and then throwing this to the mix is just even harder. And I feel that I'm feeling those like ramifications now. Like my hair's shedding more. Like I shed last year after having my son, but I kind of knew what it was from because that happened last time with my older son. But now it's happening again. And they say it could be because I had the flu and hormonal shifts again. But I was like, okay, but I knew it was postpartum last time. And now it's just annoying. So, I mean, I think I took it in stride. And I think going through the motions, like now I think back more about that time. I feel like when I was in it, it was just like surviving every day. And now I think to myself, oh, wow, on this day last year, this was happening while I was trying to figure out who's watching my 3-month-old and where is my other son going to be. He went to camp, but who's picking him up and how long am I going to be there? And what are they going to tell me? Am I like, I mean, even for my mammogram and ultrasound, they pretty much told me there at that appointment that it was something. So it's not like I had to wait for a phone call. So every other appointment I had, I thought, well, I should just double the time that I'm going to be there so that I have childcare, because I don't know what's going to happen after the scan or the test. So it was just a lot.
Yeah,
it was
the
a lot.
childcare piece
is
definitely something that we're navigating for sure. And even if you have a good support system around you, it's still just the unknown of when things are going to pop up and how long they're going to last. It's really hard. So then having a newborn on top of that, and those first few months postpartum are supposed to be all about that newborn bonding experience. So for you and that connection with your youngest, but even like continuing that connection with your older one, what did that look like and how did that feel?
I feel like I had like the worst job in the world, that I was never home or physically or mentally present. And it totally stunk last year. And I was grateful that last fall was better. Like I was on treatment and the weather was good in New Jersey, because I feel like I kind of had then time to do things with them.
Yeah.
It was just like scrambling. I was fortunate enough to have a great support system and people to watch, family members and babysitters that I could count on to watch my kids. Because I was the type that if the doctor called me and said, oh, well, can you come at 3:30? Like I was going. I wasn't waiting or saying, oh, let me think about this. I was there. I was like, I'm leaving. I don't know. Can someone come? I mean, they always came, but, and then I felt bad. I was like, I feel bad that they're here like every day. Like I should be here every day. So that was a lot, like asking for help at that time, even though I needed it, because clearly they couldn't come with me. But that was also a lot for me to navigate, is like asking for help and accepting it, because I'm always the one to say, do you need help? I'm never the one. I mean, obviously people would help me, but I'm not that type. Although now it has taught me to be that type.
No, Mike and I have talked about that a lot. We've definitely felt that way too. And I know like the mom guilt, that's been really tough for me. And I kind of hear you saying that a little bit. It's like asking people and putting that weight on them, but then also that guilt of not being able to be there present with your kids because you're dealing with all these other things.
Yeah, like last summer, I feel like I totally erased from, I'm like, oh yeah, no, that was last summer. I don't even know. So I'm happy that the end of last year was better, because then we could do things and take them out and just be with them in the backyard or going to the park, because I didn't have that at all last summer. It was every day.
Absolutely.
Was something.
Okay. So we kind of talked about, last year and we might get more into that a bit, but right now, where are you at in your treatment and what does that currently look like for you?
Okay, so I'm on Kisqali. I'm on, so that's 21 days on and 7 days off. And I think I just started my 12th or 13th pack cycle. And I'm on letrozole, which is daily, and then Lupron injections once a month. I had scans in April, and so far, so good. I did open up my circulating tumor DNA on Friday, and I shouldn't have, but we'll see. I'm seeing my oncologist on Wednesday to talk it over.
Yeah, I don't have that test. Can you share a little bit about what that what that means and what they look for? Because that's not something we've talked about on here before.
So the circulating tumor DNA, I get it. It's by like Signatera. I think there's another brand out there, but it is personal to the individual, and it tracks like microscopic cancer cells in your blood and how like frequency or how much of a load you have in your body. So like I started out at almost 3,000 back in July when they first did it as my baseline. And then that number should really technically be 0 if you don't have any cancer in your body. So some people use that as just a measure to see if treatment is working, and it could also detect cancer cells in your body that didn't form a tumor yet.
Okay.
So it could be like an early indication that something's off or your treatment isn't working or they have to tweak something. So it's just another form of measuring if things are okay.
Yeah, it gives you more information, and you don't necessarily want to make a decision based on that one piece, right?
Right.
Okay.
So it's that, it's how you feel. I think a lot of it is also how you feel.
Yeah.
Your scans, your PET scans, or CAT scan, or MRI. So they kind of look at the full picture. This is just another piece to it.
Mm-hmm. So you said you got your last scan, was it April?
April 13th, yeah.
Okay, so you'll have another one coming up soon.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hope for good news that.
Thank you.
All right, so when you think about your treatment schedule day to day or month to month, what does like living with this actually look like right now? Like your day to day life, like how is that impacting you?
I've definitely been a lot more tired. I think the buildup of the Kisqali and the letrozole and having 0 hormones in my body is really taking a toll. But other than that, I had like a few weird side effects in the beginning with Kisqali, but other than that, knock on wood, I've been pretty good. I just wake up every day, take the medicine. Everyone knows, my kids know, they don't know why, but in the beginning, my 3-year-old's like, again? I'm like, yeah, I know, but I feel okay. Everything's fine. Because they were sick with like an ear infection, so he kind of knows why you take medicine, and because he's getting older now. So, but I take it in the morning. Sometimes they're there, and sometimes they're still sleeping or watching TV, and then I just kind of go about my day.
Would you say right now, for the most part, other than the medication and things, are you able, other than the exhaustion, would you say that you're able to live fairly normally at this point?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then with metastatic breast cancer, treatment evolves over time. So how do you hold the uncertainty of what comes next while also still trying to live your life now?
I think I just try and be hopeful and read stories that have like a great outcome, like a lot of women living with this for over 10 years and just thinking about that. I mean, I have had friends and women that I know pass away recently from it. So then I just try to work harder for raising money and advocacy and kind of shifting my mindset to help rather than always think of the bad. Because I could go crazy with that, just like anyone could about anything. So I just try and sometimes stay off of social media and
balance.
And just think like, unfortunately, this stinks, but I really am hopeful, and I really think there's going to be more treatment options and hopefully a cure one day.
Yeah. No, I would agree. And I think, like you referenced, women that are living 10 years and beyond with this, I often try to remember that 10 years ago, science looked so different for those of us with metastatic breast cancer. And so if they've made this much progress in those 10 years, like what can we do in the next 2, 5, 10, whatever?
Yeah, because even Kisqali is a newer drug.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't, if we were diagnosed in like 2010, we wouldn't have had it. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure there's new things on the horizon every day.
I know. I see random things. I'm always like, okay, I screenshot it so that I can go back and look later when I need to. So as you're kind of getting closer to a new scan coming up, how do you emotionally prepare for that?
Well, for that scan, I cannot eat carbs for the PET scan or have like any sugar. So I just think get through it for the 24 hours. And then later you can have a great meal. I don't know. I try to just think, I don't know. I just try and think like it is, not that it is what it is, because I don't like that really phrase anymore, but this is just to help because I was living with this, I guess, for longer than I knew. And look at all the damage that it did. Yeah. And I don't want that anymore. So I try and look at it as this scan is going to help me, even if I have to change treatments. But I'm hopeful that whatever it is, they will have a plan for me and I will be okay.
Yeah. They absolutely will.
I hope.
Is there anything that you do to celebrate afterward?
I get like a nice coffee and a meal that I like.
Yeah, you're a coffee girl, right?
I am. And I try and put it on a day where like I go to my favorite coffie shop after. And it's like, for me, it's like going to the bar. That's like what I equate it to. I need a nice, great latte. And they know me. They know what's going on. They're supportive. So it's like seeing friends and family after, which is nice.
Yeah, that's great.
And I always try and take like an extra hour after just so that it's not like rush home and go right into like mom mode. I try and take like a little bit more time after.
Good for you.
To decompress.
Yeah, you need to in order to be able to get home and then like go right back into that mom life.
Yes.
So when you look at everything you've been through and everything's still ongoing, what do you feel like is most important for people to understand about what living with metastatic breast cancer actually looks like day to day?
I feel like it's a never-ending cycle. Someone who was not on medicine, except for, like if I was sick or something, like an antibiotic or whatever, temporary, that it's literally every day of your life. Yeah. And even on those off weeks of Kisqali, I'm still taking letrozole. So it's never really like a true break. And that unfortunately, when you have a great scan, you always have to think back in your mind, okay, well, I was good on April 13th for my PET scan, and now I left. Am I still good? Is it working? So that always it's just like constant. Is this working? What are they checking for? Blood work all the time. Are my numbers okay? So it's constant. Just a constant in your mind all the time.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
Talking to people like friends and texting Kayla, just like kind of finding people that get it. And I do go to a support group at Mary's Place by the sea in Ocean Grove, New Jersey, that I know like a lot of women know about, even like around the world and around the United States that go there. So it meets once a month and we kind of just talk about everything that's going on. So it's kind of nice to have a group of women that get it. Because it's hard. It's not like, oh, hey, everyone that like I went to college with or high school has the same thing that I'm going through. So I'm grateful that they don't, because you don't want anyone to go through this, but it's harder to connect about all the doctor's appointments and things. So it's nice to have a group that I could talk to.
And that is specifically for stage 4?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
really nice.
They created this this support group for any woman with metastatic cancer. So not just breast cancer, any cancer.
That's really nice.
Support group. Yeah, it's nice.
What does a good day look like for you right now?
Where I'm so busy with great things that I'm doing that I forget that, like, even if it's 5 minutes, that I forget that I have a doctor appointment, or my phone is blowing up with my chart things, or just that I forget for a second because I feel somewhat normal, even though I do feel normal. I don't know, just when I kind of like forget about it because I'm occupied with other things is nice. Yeah. Whether it's at vacation or just day to day, like I try and go to the gym, and I have a group of women there who are so great and supportive. So I try and just do things to keep myself occupied as well.
That's great.
So I'm not just harping on it all day, because I used to be like that, I feel like. And this made me stronger in a way to not do that all the time. I mean, obviously there's instances where you do, but
yeah, of course.
But yeah, just kind of living life, and sometimes I forget, and that's great.
So good for you. So kind of shifting gears, I want to go into a bit about motherhood and marriage with this. And I know that can be a really tough topic to discuss. But when you think about your boys, what's the thought that hit you first when you thought about them and with this diagnosis?
That I will not be there at their wedding or high school graduation. Or even kindergarten.
Yeah.
That's hard.
It's like, try not to think about that.
I know.
When they go to bed or even starting something new, it's like, well, like my son started camp today. It's 8 weeks. So much can happen in those 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And summer's supposed to be fun and light. And I feel like last year was all about cancer stuff because that's when I was diagnosed. So I feel like it even robbed me of summer being light and where you do things that you don't normally do. So I'm hoping that even though numbers are all over the place for me right now, I just hope that I'm stronger than I was last year.
Well, I mean, I didn't know you last year, but I can hear it in the things that you're saying and just the texts that we've shared. Yeah. And, you know, even with the unknown of what these numbers are going to look like and the story that they're going to tell, like you are, you know, you've gotten through so much already. And I can tell like you're so strong and you're showing them, even though they're little right now, that they can get through hard things.
Yeah. But my first thought was my kids.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that.
And then I always think, well, if I didn't have them, then I wouldn't have to worry about it. But, you know, so all of those things come to mind. I mean, I'm so grateful that I have them, but sometimes it's hard to think about it when they're so little. I mean, my little guy was 3 months and my other one was 2.5.
Yeah.
So they have their whole life. And I mean, and I'm also young. I was 32. So it's not like I'm that old.
I know. I know.
So yeah, I definitely thought about my kids, and I still do. But then I try not to think about. I'm like, okay, well, today was a great day, but it's definitely hard.
Yeah. So, do you have any advice for young moms that might be going through a scary diagnosis, either metastatic breast cancer or something else that makes the future really hard to predict?
I would just say to take it day by day, and don't plan for the worst, because the worst is not going to happen. You have to think about the positivity and being hopeful, and just if you want to do something, you have to do it. Like I would never think like, oh, I'm just gonna go. Like last year, I went to Florida with my parents, and then I went away with my husband. And then I always go away with my kids too in between, but like take the trips. Like I was like, how am I leaving my 4-month-old? But I did it because that I wanted to do it at the time, and I feel like I needed to, and I wanted to spend time with my parents, and I did it. So it kind of made my perspective change on other things and open my mind to I can do it. So I would just say, obviously go to all your doctor's appointments, but make time for you, make time for you and your significant other, and then make family time and do what you want to do. If you want to do something, if you want to go on a trip, or if you just need a day for yourself, that it's also very important on top of everything else that you have to do.
I know I appreciate hearing that from you and hearing that you did those things, because often I think like, no, I should be spending all of this time with my kids. Like, this is the time I have with them. But I also know that it's important to have me time. It's important to have time with Mike. So I just appreciate that reminder from you that it's okay to do those things.
Yeah, because I was never that type at all. Like, I was like, no, I need to be here. This is me every day. But you change. As we all know, your body changes. And it stinks that it had to be cancer to shift my mindset, because that's really crummy. But in a way, I'm glad that it did. Because now I do more things that I want to do, or as a family we want to do. So, yeah. So I would just say take it day by day. Definitely find a group of women that get what you're going through, and you'll always be supported. You'll find someone that will support you and get your story.
I love that. Going back to like partner spouse time, you'll be celebrating 7 years of marriage soon, right?
Yes, July 12th. Yes.
It's very exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how has your marriage shifted since your diagnosis and treatment started happening, like alongside pregnancy and postpartum? Like, I know you already had one, you kind of went through that initial pregnancy, postpartum phase with your husband, but then that second time around, like, we know it's a whole different ballgame with 2 kids. So do you want to talk about that at all?
Oh, sure. So this time around, I feel like with my husband, it was better in a way postpartum, because there were so many things happening that everyone needed to be helpful and like be there for each other despite like everything hitting the fan at once. So in some ways it showed more support in a weird way. And then in other ways it was a devastation, because I feel like I'm not the Candace that I used to be a year and a half ago before I even got pregnant. So I would say that it was nice in a way, or I don't know. It was like he was very supportive and always there for me. But I had more of an issue understanding him and how he was feeling about me, and because I'm the one like going through it in a different way than he is. So we've had to talk about like how he's feeling versus like what I'm going through and feeling. And that was like a big gap that we're still working on, because he's not the one with it, I am. And I feel like I am walking through this journey differently than a spouse, because I know that I would feel differently if it was him, God forbid, and he would be going through it differently too. So that's been hard.
Yeah.
And he knows like I have so many women to talk to, and I see them, and I always have someone to talk to, and I feel like he doesn't in a way, because again, it's not like all of his friends have wives that have this going on. So there's the commonality, like, it's not as easy. And there's so many support groups for us, but then for the caregivers, there's really not that many. So it's harder to find guys with wives with breast cancer, metastatic. I don't know. So
and I think guys are different anyway. Mike, do you want to jump in about that at all?
No, I get that. And, I mentioned this at some points throughout our discussions, how it is kind of isolating.
Yes.
For us. And, like you're trying to be the support for someone that's the most important person in your life. And,
right.
You're crumbling too. For you, Candace, like Kayla and I have talked about this a little bit, especially like the beginning of Kayla's initial diagnosis of, metastatic breast cancer. There was times where like she was supporting me throughout that process. And, I could only imagine doing that also while raising a newborn and,
right.
A 3-month-old. And that must have been very challenging.
Yes. Yeah, it was. But that's how I feel like last year was such a blur, because it was just doctor's appointments for babies, me, postpartum. Oh, and then let's throw cancer into the mix. Oh, and then, it's just a lot. So I think now I feel fine. So I think that is better for my husband to know that, like, I feel okay, even if something is brewing or whatever. But I think it's gotten better than last year, which is good. But that initial is very hard. And I didn't realize how hard it was because I'm not the spouse. I'm the one. I mean, I am a spouse, but I'm also the one having it. So it's different.
Very different.
Definitely different.
And I know, oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Mike, you'll have to edit this part out because I had something I wanted to say. Menopause, this is what happened.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, think about it. But, how do you two try to stay connected when life feels consumed, by appointments, work, and raising 2 young kids?
We try and do date nights like once or twice a month, which is nice. And we plan a trip once a year to go to Florida together, just the 2 of us, and the kids stay home. So we try to find pockets of time where it's just us, even if it's 2 hours on a weekend. We don't, sometimes we just walk around Target. I don't know, or just go. Or,
We've been there.
Yeah, that's all we do. We don't even, so we try, and then knock on wood, we're lucky enough that our boys go to sleep and we have that time to watch shows and just hang out. So we try and find pockets of time where it's just the 2 of us.
Yeah.
Even when it's really hard. Even when it's hard.
Yeah. Do you feel that in some ways this has brought you 2 closer together, or in in a different way?
Yes, definitely. Communication wise, yes. And our focus, I feel our priorities have shifted in a way than just work, come home, kids, and then bedtime. It's what do you need? Instead of it being just so mundane, because it was kind of just a routine of what we do. And then this shook everything up. So I feel in a way, yes. And it also made us just find time for each other more. Because if you asked me last year or 2 years ago, it's oh, okay, I don't know. We see each other when we see each other. But now it's more intentional, which is a good thing. But again, it shouldn't be cancer to make it like that,
Right.
So, and when I tell my other friends or people, I'm just do it. And they're oh, no, I can't. And I don't want to be well, I mean, for me, it took cancer to kind of shift gears a little bit. And I don't want that to be anyone else. But I'm you should just do. If you guys want to do something, just do it.
I know.
You can. Yeah. But it's hard for, if I didn't have this, I wouldn't be in the same position that I am. So it's all relative, I guess.
No, absolutely. When you think about him in this chapter of your life that you're currently in, and what would you want him to know, even if you've said it already? What would you want to say to him?
That I love him, and that I really truly think I'll be okay. There will be bumps in the road, but I truly believe that I will be here and I will be okay.
Love that. So many things that you're saying, like it just resonates with me and so many of the conversations Mike and I have had. So I really appreciate that. So kind of changing gears a little bit, you've talked a lot about advocacy. And so I want to talk about that in a couple different ways. The first one, just like, how are you advocating for yourself differently now in medical settings and appointments, things like that?
I definitely talk more. I don't just sit and say, oh, okay, yeah, sounds good, and leave. I come with questions. I even ask, like my family, like, what have you been thinking, over the past 3 weeks that from the last appointment? Like, do you have any questions or should I be thinking? So I definitely like branch out more into other people and myself of like writing things down and making sure that I'm not missing anything. And even like with my boys, with their doctor's appointments, I'm definitely have a different perspective of being the patient and knowing when something isn't going right and questioning it. And even if they don't like it, whether it's a nurse or a doctor or whoever, that's okay. And it's okay to ask questions.
Good. If you could speak directly to providers who care for women, so especially like pregnant and postpartum, thinking about where you were at and what you were dealing with when your diagnosis came, what would you want them to understand?
Listen to the patient and write everything down in their my chart, because that was the other thing, is she did not write down that she did a breast exam at all. And not that I would do anything with that information, but I was just curious.
Yeah.
And that I would rather be known if I was the doctor. Like, wouldn't you rather be known for someone who sends out for tests and stuff and have pushback from insurance companies than missing the mark and missing a huge diagnosis? Even if it's one person, that's still a miss. So just listen, and if there is a problem or they have a question, just follow through with it and be there for them and send them for the scan, no matter the age.
No, I like that.
And don't just think it's from breastfeeding. Like, we're over that. Like, I think there's so much and so many, unfortunately, young women that this is their story. Like, we have to move past that. We can't just say that anymore, So, and educating, and maybe going to like the conference that we met at in Philly, like actually see what we're going through than just being in their own like box of this is what I do. No, you are the first people the first doctor that we go to when we have an issue like this. And I think they need to be a little bit on it more, in my opinion.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I'm really glad we were able to have you on, so that women who listen and might be either experiencing those things or maybe haven't yet, but like are on that journey towards motherhood, kind of get this perspective and know that it's okay to advocate for yourself, and you can demand things. And if you're not happy, then go to somebody else. Right. But I know for me, like, I was very timid and just like, okay. Like, I trust everybody. I'll do whatever you say. Yes. And wasn't great at speaking up for myself. So I'm still have a long way to go with that, but I've gotten better.
Definitely like a learning curve, because it doesn't just come naturally at all. And now I don't even care. I'm like, if I'm known as the obnoxious redhead walking through the door, but I will be saving my life.
Yeah,
that is fine.
Nope,
or for your kids, or for your, anyone, like someone you have to, it's unfortunate because you think that, I'm going to the doctor and they're going to help me. Half the time they don't. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Or they think they are, and I don't know, or you just get brushed off, and it's a problem. So that's why I guess I'm not a doctor, because I would take too many things home with me, like this patient and blah, blah, and I would that would be totally consuming.
That's hard enough when you're a teacher, right?
Like, I know.
You take so much home.
Oh, yeah.
So in the article, you mentioned the metastatic breast cancer community being the worst club with the best people.
Yes.
What did you find there that you didn't know you needed? And obviously, we're not speaking about the club that you go to like all the time to meet these people, but
the love for strangers, like even in Philly when we met, it's almost like we knew each other
Mm-hmm.
and we never even met. So
Mm-hmm.
I just love like the people in the community and the sense of we all have crap that we're dealing with, but we're here. You can text someone at any time. You're not really bothering anyone. Like we want you there. They want me there. They want everyone there. And the support is just amazing.
Yeah. So going back to the conference, obviously we got to meet there.
Yes.
And what stood out to you most from that experience? Like, what did you take away from that?
From the conference, I would say that I'm very lucky that my oncologist and my team where I go are very on it and they know the newest testing and technology, because I was meeting women who had no idea half of the things that was presented, which is great that now they can go back and ask. But I went back to my oncologist and I said, I'm just so thankful that I know that I'm at a great place that provides like individualized care for me and worries about the patient, and the communication is great. So it kind of reassured that where I am in my journey, that it's okay and I'm doing the best that I can right now.
Mm-hmm. Good. And then in the more like local scope of things, you've been able to connect with other women who are local to your general area, or at least, the state.
Mm-hmm.
So can you kind of share what those relationships have meant to you? Any events that you want to kind of go into and discuss that you've participated in or that you have coming up?
Yeah. So we have, so last year when I was first diagnosed, my mother-in-law was on Instagram and Facebook and like every social media and was just trying to find any information or someone that I could connect with. And she found Christy, who has her own page, and she lives like an hour away from me. So we went to the Glow Walk to support Metaviver last October, and I was able to meet some of the women there. And then I became friendly with them, and we go to Mary's place together once a month. We've gotten like lunch outside of doing something other than just meeting for cancer stuff. And we went up to Midland Park, which is North Jersey, to go to their walk in May. So we just
really fun.
So we just try and do and see each other. We see each other a lot, and it's nice. Good. And then we have our Glow Walk in October, on October 17th in Jackson, New Jersey. And it's nice because it's at night and we have like glow in the dark stuff. So it's like a different type of spin on a walk since it's at night. And then we'll be going to, I believe, in North Jersey again. We met up with someone from Leslie's Week, which is another organization, and they're having something up north in September for metastatic breast cancer. So we'll go to that. So it's just nice. We try and see each other and do things a lot, which is nice. Yeah.
Awesome. You've kind of mentioned throughout our discussion that you've had a lot of different support, family, friends, who, I mean, obviously your husband, of course, but who has kind of been your anchor in this process? And it could be more than just one person, but who has shown up for you and how have they shown up for you?
I would say my friends from college. So Gab, Ange, Ashley, and Lauren, I've known them since I was 18 and now I'm 33, and we were roommates in college, and we all got married and had babies at the same time. So they really just know me, and they would check in, and they were the first ones that I asked about if they ever had a lump when they were pregnant. And they have just been there for me, checking in, asking if I needed, childcare. They would come to my house, or I could drop the kids off to them, and asking how I'm feeling on all of the medication and how my husband's doing. And it's just been, they're always there, and I know I can count on them, and they're great. And I'm very happy that I met them when I did, and that we are all still friends. So
Mm-hmm.
it's nice.
Yeah. Those college friends are pretty amazing.
Yes.
We feel that too. Going back to your boys, obviously they're little and they don't really know what mom's going through right now. But if they look back on this part of your story one day and kind of see like how you've navigated, especially these early parts of your journey when they're so little, what do you hope they see?
That, wow, we did all of this and you had cancer. Like we went to Disney
I love
and
that.
you had cancer. We went, you took me to camp or my last day of school, and all these pictures you had cancer. There, that's how, like
Yeah.
you were there for me. So yeah, I want them to know that even though I don't look like a typical person who has cancer, that I do, but I was always there for them
I love that.
and doing
Absolutely.
things with them and playing with them.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, so one more before we kind of get to the end of the podcast questions that we have. When you think about your story, not just the diagnosis, but everything you've lived through since then, what do you want people to take away from it?
That it's a lot. And it's not just, oh, I go for one scan and you're fine, or there's always a follow-up. There's always the analyzing of everything. And I think I did a pretty good job at being a mom, a wife, a daughter, and going through it, especially being postpartum.
Absolutely. There's a lot behind the curtain that people don't necessarily see.
Right.
We put on a good face and we look like
Yeah,
we're
like I
managing
remember
things
last year
well.
I got the call that I had breast cancer, and the nurse was like, "Are you sitting down?" I'm like, "I'm in the car driving my son." This was the other camp. They're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I mean, I have to drive him to camp, and I guess you have to tell me that I have breast cancer, so I'm gonna be okay."
Don't really have a choice right now.
Okay. Yes, it's crazy.
All right. So we just have some fun questions for the end here, and then we'll wrap up with a couple more, I guess, not intense, but just a little bit more serious again.
Okay.
So these are kind of like well, this one's a this or that. So are you a morning person or a night owl?
Morning,
What time do you wake up every morning?
like 6:45, 7.
Okay, that's not too bad.
No,
Like with kids, they always like to start their day early. If you could have an hour, what would be your favorite way to spend that hour without either with kids or without, but you get to pick?
I'll say with kids or a family and everyone. I would say to like walk around either a beach town or a town near me and just get a cup of coffee, walk around. The kids, there's like a play thing for the kids so that they can do and let out their energy and just talk and be with each other.
That sounds like an amazing way to do that.
And a good snack, some type of good snack. I don't know what, but something good.
What would be your dream vacation? Something you haven't done.
Okay, something I haven't done.
Putting you on the spot.
I know. Like me, I mean, I've been to Italy and I do want to go back. So maybe another European country.
Yeah.
And like explore the history and the food and do something like that. Yeah.
It's definitely on my list. So I understand that. You talked about watching shows with your husband. What's your favorite show to watch together? Or is there one that you're currently watching and enjoying?
There's a lot. But like I like reality TV. And he's gotten more into it because from like 8 to 11, sometimes if it's a good night on Bravo, it's like stacked.
Are you a Below Deck fan?
I am, and I'm in the city, the valley, like all of it. It's just like a good mindless thing.
Yes.
But we're very much into, and we just binge watched one of it's on Netflix. I think he's an author, Harlan Coben. He like has all these mini, like 8-episode mini series, and you could fly through them in like 2 days. And we like them. They're they're mystery and thrill. They're really good. So we
I've
just
never heard
watched
of them.
that. No, it's, I think the most recent one that we just watched is like number one in like the TV shows if you look on Netflix. So
Okay, I'll
we like
take a
those.
look. I'm always looking for something, although like what you said, the reality TV seems to be the easiest thing I can consume these days just because it's mindless and I don't know, doesn't trigger anything.
Right. It's like light. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you rather online shop or go to the store?
Online.
And your favorite time of year?
My favorite time of year is probably between May and 4th of July. I mean, Memorial Day and 4th of July, because I feel like it's like the sweet spot that it's nice out, but summer's still not really here yet. And then, because I feel like after 4th of July, it's just like, welcome back to school, or,
It goes
you
so
know,
fast.
I know. And I remember as a teacher, it would be like, you know, once it hits 4th of July, it's crazy. So I just, I would say like from Memorial Day to 4th of July is like a good time.
One thing that you always have to have with you, whether it's in your purse or your pocket or anything.
Chapstick.
See, Mike, I'm not the only one.
I know.
And if I can't find it, like I panic, like if it's not, and then I'm like, oh my God, do I have enough time to go to CVS if I can't find it? And it's like this whole thing. And my husband's like, you can live without it. I said, I can't. I cannot. And actually sitting here right now, I'm like, oh, I could really go for some chapstick, but I don't have it.
I know it's going to be on your mind. I feel the same way.
You know?
Times I've used chapstick.
There's some people that have never used it, or they're like, oh, I used it once. I'm like, how do you use it once?
Yeah, Mike does not use it.
Always. It's so bad. Yeah.
What kind of music do you like?
Oh, pop, anything. Like, I'm going to a few concerts this summer. I'm seeing Hilary Duff, which I'm really excited for.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm seeing, who else am I seeing? Bruno Mars.
And
then Pitbull. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Nice. Where are you seeing Pitbull?
I like country, so. Pitbull I'm seeing in PNC Bank. It's like, it's in Homedale, New Jersey. It's like a local spot. Yeah. And
I
then
saw that he's coming to like the Hershey Park Arena.
Oh, yes.
I randomly looked at that. I was like, oh, that could be good.
And it's like a party. I've seen him a few times before. It's fun.
Nice. Are you a reader?
I was an English major. I used to be.
Oh, okay. Not so much anymore though with kids and everything.
Anymore. Now it's just like reading my chart and I don't even know.
I read in the summer and that's about it because I never have time.
It's hard.
One word your friends or family would use to describe you.
Loyal.
That's a good one. What is a tiny thing that instantly makes your day better?
When I have my chapstick. No. When my younger son goes in for a nap and then I wake him up and he is at his crib and just like wants me to pick him up. It's like a great like midday like pick me up for myself. It's like, oh yeah, I am your whole world. Yes. And I will pick you up with your smile on. And he's just always so happy. So that's just like, it's great.
I love that. Yes. The boy mom love is real and it's just, it's special.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So if someone listening is newly diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, what would you want to say directly to them?
You will think the worst in the beginning and maybe throughout, but it won't consume you as much as you think in this moment. And even if you didn't trust doctors before, because I didn't, I mean, I did. And then I feel like it was like a betrayal. Yeah. That especially in oncology and where we are, it's like a totally different ball game in that regard of trusting, and you kind of have to put your trust back quickly in a way because it's kind of a thing that you can't really sit on, even if it's hard to trust again. But there will be better days, and your friends and family and everyone they're there to support you and to be there. And if you don't want to keep updating people, and if it's overwhelming, write it down or find one person to tell so that they could tell others. Or if you don't want that, find a way to communicate, and you will get advice from everyone. You will get links to every single article. You will get stories of, oh, my great aunt had it and she's not here anymore, but you are here. Mm-hmm. And if medicine works for you, but not your friend, you're not your friend. You're not the family member. You're you. And it's really, really a sucky situation, but you were here. Your friends and family love you. They want the best for you, and it will be okay, and it will get better.
Mm-hmm. That was perfect. What does legacy mean to you, and what do you hope yours looks like? I mean, you're still building it, and you will be for a long time, but what kind of legacy are you trying to build?
That as a mom and a wife, that love and loyalty and honesty that you have should not be shadowed or taken away from you, or thinking that you can't do those things or be those things just because of a diagnosis, and working through that and being on your own journey and advocating for yourself and connecting with other women and men who have metastatic breast cancer is the way to fuel your mind with positivity. And even if someone does pass away, because unfortunately that has happened to me, and it unfortunately will probably happen again, then you just fight harder. Mm-hmm. You raise more money, you go to events, you let people know what metastatic breast cancer even is. Like, I want to be the person that it's okay if people don't get what stage 4 metastatic means, but I want them to know that I will tell them and educate them, mm-hmm. and without any, judgment, just that I am here for anyone. I let my voice be heard, and I am helping in any way that I can while raising a family, being young, and trying to live my best life.
Oh, that's amazing. All right. One final question. So my mantra has become just show up on the hard days, on the good days, and everything in between. What does showing up mean to you?
Waking up every day, taking the medicine even when I don't want to. And I really shouldn't complain, because then I feel like if I complain about it and then the treatment doesn't work, I should be like, well, why did I complain? So just waking up every day, taking the medicine, moving on, seeing what my kids are doing, and plan something fun to do, whether it's that day or a week or a month from now, looking forward to things and just marching on.
Perfect. Mike, anything else?
No, I can't do it any better. I have nothing better to say. Candace, thank you so much for
you're welcome.
Thank you. Sharing your story, and also thank you for the support that you've given to Kayla. You're one of the first people that she got to meet and talk to, and in that early stage, and I know you helped her more than you probably know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm always here. I love
it. No, I really appreciate it. Yeah, just the random texts and just being able to connect on something that we're both going through, and just our stories are different but similar in so many ways, and just being the mom of 2 young boys, and I don't know, there's a lot of similarities there.
Yes.
And it's just really helpful, and just another reminder that we're not alone in this, and that there's people doing really great things despite the diagnosis. So
yep.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. And I feel like everyone that I have met through this have such strong leadership skills, whether it was I did something in high school or college or I work. So it's almost like we're just a powerhouse of just great minds just fighting our way through. I don't know.
Yeah.
which is great. So, yeah.
We're going to make change. We're going to make
Yes,
a difference. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank
And
you.
you already have with creating this podcast.
Thanks.
So,
We're trying.
I know my husband appreciated the solo one, Mike, that you did.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I'm really glad.
Because I was listening to it, and I'm like, I wonder if Jared, my husband, I'm like, I wonder if he would listen to it. And then he came home for lunch, and I was like, you have to listen to it. And we just played it, and it was just, again, obviously a heavy subject, but going back to, how you connected or your relationship, it was just like it brought us closer. And I feel like this was just another good way for him to know that his feelings are validated too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I know I was talking to my best friend from home who obviously doesn't have the diagnosis or anything like that, but we were talking about Mike in that episode, and just, I actually haven't listened to it. I read the transcript. I just didn't know if at the time I was not in a place that I could listen to it, but even now I'm like, I don't know if I could yet.
Right. Right.
But she was just like saying like, that was really heavy. And I was like, yeah, but he is not the only one feeling all of those things. Like, I've heard from at least two different people who also have stage 4, whose husbands felt so validated hearing like what Mike had to share. So even though it's like sad and scary to hear somebody that you care about say those things, it's the reality of the situation that we're in.
Right.
And it's also helping others realize like, yeah, okay, we're not the only one feeling those things.
I know. We were listening, he's like, yep, same, yep. I'm like, see?
Yes.
I mean, it stinks, but
Well, and I think so often for men, like they don't share usually as openly as women and like have these conversations as readily. And also there's not those support groups, and there's not as much out there for caregivers in general, but especially I think spouses. So it's just an easier way for them to like access that. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
I'm not the only one.
Right. Right. Yes. It was good. Thank you for doing that.
Well, thanks for listening.